It is you want to do your jazzy little intro?
Breaking It Down podcast with the twins.
It's with Sugar Cookie Marketing. If you say with the twins, no wonder why our listens are down.
Twins. That also are in Sugar Cookie Marketing.
There you go. And here's the real intro right now. Okay, Corey, welcome to episode 80-something. I'll have to tell you when I upload it. Of the Baking It Down podcast. Phoebe was staring at me. But, Phoebe, go to bed. What can people expect on this podcast?
Well, each week we come to your ear canals with one little marketing nugget know-how that you can incorporate into your business this week and see the positives next week. We have 80 some odd episodes. They can be listened to out of order because they don't build on each other because we do not think that far ahead.
They're out of water.
They're out of water. That is something me and Heather have said for years.
It's out of water. Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about this week actually was Cora's on day. I'm going to steal it. Like she stole my face. What I wanted to talk about was something that we actually did yesterday. Now, my older sister, Ashley, is really into photography, especially branding type photography. It's kind of part of her job.
Someone said that we say photography instead of photography.
Photography. Was that right? Furry feed?
Photography. Pet photography.
It's that photography. It's out of water.
Okay.
Anyways, what Ashley, our older sister, did is my little sister finally flew the coop. Moment of silence for my parents being finally empty nesters.
Empty nesters.
They
need a little break.
Yeah. So in Summer's apartment has these kind of newer apartments have these community rooms you can rent out. I mean, the place is absolutely beautiful. It's in the heart of Fairfax.
It's brand spanking new. The place, I mean, like Summer is the only person in her building.
You know
right
how
now.
like you buy, I don't know how often people buy microwaves, but in the event that you buy a microwave, it has that
the little
clear film.
Yeah.
This is as it's at the apartment is clear film.
Clear film.
People are ripping off film everywhere. Anyways, so it has this brand new, unused, unscathed community room that my older sister rented out. So she invited Corey and myself to do a couple headshots, photos like
a
that.
branding photo session.
Of course, this kitchenette thing is absolutely stunning. It's got, interior designers put it up.
Yeah,
My brain couldn't even comprehend to make something that beautiful.
No, giant gold-plated lights.
Which sounds tacky, but it's so amazing. Yeah. Brushed gold.
You never think wallpaper, you think like old style. This is like gorgeous
giant
wallpaper.
Purple flowers, which if I put it on anything, it would look horrendy.
If you want to see what it looked like, I did just post a reel to our Instagram so you can see what it looks like behind the scenes.
So what we talked about, of course, you got to kind of just stomach that you're not going to like the way you look. I can guarantee it. So, I'm looking at the photos. I look like an idiot. Also, I used the pink eyeshadow.
You don't.
Look like I have pink eye.
No, you
Heather,
do
step
not.
away from the pink
You
eyeshadow.
look gorgeous. We're all our own worst critic.
You have to say that.
When
We're
I
twins.
look in the mirror in the morning, I'm like, it ain't gonna get better, but it also could get worse.
When I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my goodness, the world is pleased. And then I look at the camera, and I think that's actually what I look like. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the world has been punished. So, okay, back to if you watch that reel Corey posted, she mentions an important essentially, it's a funnel. Like, no, trust. So the topic of today's podcast is like, no, trust, sell. Without the first three, you can't do the last one. So we wanted to talk about what like, no, and trust mean as it applies to cookies. Everyone, including Oreo, is selling cookies.
We all are.
So it's the like, no, and trust that allows us to sell ours specifically. So when we talk about this is kind of what we thought yesterday was this online branding. How can I like somebody on another side of my phone screen? It's hard.
It is hard. And oftentimes the stars of the shows are what we bake, and it's hard to like a faceless bake.
Yeah, the cookies are cute, but I like the cookies. However, when you step away from Corey specifically, your cookies are one of a billion on Instagram.
Everyone else is selling. We got all the same Santa Clauses.
You guys are buying cutters from the same cutter shop. You may have your unique take on the designer or whatever, but from an end user, from the buyer's perspective, very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. I think I've seen this before. Very nice. Right. So it's kind of this repetitive thing. So how do we break through just letting our cookies speak for us and be a likable person? Human, the human being on the other side of the screen, the human being who's baking. And I think that's kind of what we talked about yesterday. And here's 4 ways we think that you can create that connection with your buying audience.
Yeah.
The stronger these are, the more
better.
you will sell.
Yes, absolutely.
So, we always say don't compete on price because the price is your profit. That's your money. That's what we're working hard for. So you need to compete on these other aspects that take a little bit more finesse than just marking something down.
Yeah. And also, if you're like, I'm not selling out, I'm not booked, these things can help you get there. We want you to do these things before you even ever think about touching that price point. The price point isn't a feeling, it's math. So it should be mathed out that you cannot offer something lower than
Everything
that price.
else we can make emotional.
We can't. Give us that list, baby girl.
Every quarter, do a Meet the Baker post. Now, to you, the baker, it sounds repetitive. I just told these people who I am. Nothing about my life has changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. But those people, one, look at the algorithm. Something I love to do. The Vendy Blendy is a great example. I've posted about it incessantly. I've annoyed myself, among others, about constantly saying, hey, request to join this group, you will pen. It's probably posted in 10 different places that you will not get into that group before the 25th.
Yeah.
However, every day I get somebody asking, why am I still pending?
I see.
It's because I'm not reaching them. My post in a group of 37,000, my average reach is about 1,500.
That's a lot of people left
A
off
lot
that
of
little
people.
table.
So I could say, well, I just posted about this. They should read. No, they can't even read. The algorithm did not serve it to them. So Meet the Baker post quarterly is a great way to say, hey, person who more than likely didn't see my last post, I'm still here and I'm likable.
And we live in a very transient area. People are coming and going. My clients are leaving and new clients are coming in. Not everyone knows you. You might say, oh, it's a small town. I don't care if it's a small town or a large town.
I'm not interesting. Listen, man, I am on TikTok knee deep.
I think
in
you're going to
50...
say, listen to me. I'm not interesting. I'm going to be like, I concur.
I'm also not interesting because I'm on TikTok knee deep, 50 stories back, trying to learn about this woman whose husband cheated on her and she caught him in a white lie. So even though you may not find yourself interesting, humans love other humans.
We do.
Simple
I
as
want
that.
something just to disrupt my little boring life.
Yes.
I'm willing
even
to
if
watch
it's your boring life, disrupt my boring life. So Meet the Baker post, just schedule it once a quarter. I wouldn't even be opposed to once a month, but once a quarter means you're going to get 4 of those out there.
Yeah.
You're going to be likable. Now, the Meet the Baker post isn't, hi, I'm Heather. That's not enough for me to like you.
We gotta
Unless
get
your
some
name's Heather.
personality up in our
Right. So I would say Meet the Baker post, let's shoot for 500 words. That is maybe 200, 250.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. But whatever. We want it to be chunky. We want enough that I can, even in your boring life, I can relate.
Yeah.
A lot of people live boring lives. Let's connect our boring lives together and live in boring forever.
One thing you'll also find that even though reach is not as great as we wish it would, if there is a face in a photo, you are going to get people curious enough to read the copy because we're nosy.
You know what a heat map is?
Yes. Oh, no, please
Thank
explain it
you.
to me.
Do not know. So a heat map is a way that a website kind of webmasters can see where people are taking action on the site. So wherever you hover your mouse over, something can track that, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. However, they find that most people hover their mouse pointer over the faces of pictures on websites. That means their attention is drawn towards human faces.
So if you can a good photo, you do not have to hire a photographer.
The iPhone is probably really good at taking, the iPhone these days with the blur and the focus and the portrait.
The video quality on an iPhone, mind boggled.
So really, and most of us have iPhones, except for me, you can get away with taking a really nice photo. If you're like, well, it's too dark, just get it on the sunshiny day, indirect light, stand under a tree, and you got the recipe for a really great Meet the Baker post. Now, I know what you guys want to do here. You want to build a roadblock and you want to say, I don't like standing in front of a camera. Then you don't want to make as many sales as possible. It sounds so rude. Heather, I have a boundary. Yeah, you have a boundary, but that boundary is also restricting your income because humans love human faces.
Yeah.
It is just a part of the buying process.
At the end of the day, we're our own worst critic. Heather, she thinks she looked horrendous yesterday. I thought she looked like a model.
I looked weird.
No, you looked great. I thought it was
weird.
But see, it's getting out of your own mental headspace.
Just take the photo. So at the end of the day, I'm still going to post those photos where they're not. Because on the other side is you guys get to see me showered, which is rare. But you guys get to connect more. So, okay, well, I don't like to be in front of the camera. Okay, well, then accept that your sales will be lessened. And that's an appropriate thing to say out loud. I always say to Corey, you got to finish the sentence. So finish the sentence. It'll be like, oh, I'm too busy. And then the rest of the sentence, to help you because I want to do something fun for myself. Like the rest of the sentence is always mean. But so like, yeah, I don't like standing in the camera. So I understand that I'll make fewer sales.
Yeah.
That's the rest of the sentence. It's not wrong. It's not right. It's just what it is.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're the baker that's baking these. People want to connect with you in any which way they can. So I'll let them do that. You look fantastic. You look amazing. Put on that apron. Put on your favorite baking t-shirt. And get in front of the camera. And our next one, the hurdle that people will say is, I don't really like my kitchen so dark. Girl, my kitchen's dark too.
Corey's bringing us into bakery photo shoot. It's a great way to knock out both the Meet the Baker post and really to kind of create these lifestyle shots. If your excuse is, I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it like I see it.
Because a dark kitchen is a great kitchen too.
But also, we rented out a room.
We did.
The kitchen that was there was not our own. It was cool. You can rent out these rooms anywhere. Odds are you probably have a friend or relative with a kind of a nice kitchen too. Whatever the excuse is, you can work around it to really create this. Now, one thing Corey and I can't do is talk you out of your roadblocks. If you enjoy building roadblocks, you're probably a professional construction worker at this point, and I can't tell you to take them down. If you don't want to do this, you won't. And nothing that we can say can convince you of doing it. But I need you to finish the sentence. I don't want to take photos, so I understand I'll produce fewer sales, and I am okay with that.
I don't want to make more money.
That's the rest of the sentence.
That is it.
It's a harsh way to approach it when you're saying, well, I just don't, I don't like the way I look. Hey, you're among friends. I didn't like the way I looked, but however, I understand that if I'm always sitting behind the microphone and never putting my face out there, well, I'll make fewer sales. People don't know me. They don't like me as much. I'm not relatable if I'm just a voice.
Like not as much. They just don't like
they
you.
Just finish the sentence. Corey and I were posting reels with your face in them. It is a great way to differentiate yourself because putting your face in front of a camera is hard to do.
Pain in the bun.
Pain in the bun. Awkward. Weird.
Yes.
You feel cringy. Then you got to watch it. The worst part is not only did you do it, now you got to watch it and post it.
Yes.
Nothing. Hearing your voice on repeat.
Oh, that's annoying in and of itself. But just to see my face on repeat, I mean, I have to stare at you all day, every day. So just imagine me seeing that twice as much.
I saw it yesterday on the camera. I feel bad. So just getting yourself out there and putting reels with your face on. Now, reels and stories on Instagram and now Facebook.
And lives that you can do.
And TikTok. They're pretty, in the space of social media, they're transient. Specifically stories, which expire in 24 hours. Lives, you don't have to have them archive. You can have them expire as well. It is a way to let people in even more, to understand that this baker is very relatable to me.
I will say, Heather knows I did not want to make a reel because everything was not perfect. The lighting in my house was not perfect. I felt like my phone quality wasn't as good.
Corey was a full-time construction worker working on roadblocks.
Yeah, man. Give me that construction, that hard hat.
Hard-headed, hard hat.
So Heather said, if you get a phone, like that was my biggest hurdle, was like I felt like my phone quality wasn't there. And she's like, if you get a phone, you have to justify it by using it. And boy, have I used it. Has everything been fantastic? All my content? No. I
always tell people, you can go back. You can go refilm something, but you can't go back in time.
You can't.
You cannot. So Corey posted, this is kind of funny. She posted this reel with her new logo. However, she had baked the logo as a cookie. What we didn't realize is the fear of holes. Well, now we understand.
What is it, triphobia?
Something. It has another...
Triaphobia?
It has something in it.
Something.
Anyways, apparently, that video started going viral because of the fear of holes in it. Sorry, hole people. And what we said is like, okay, now the video is at over 1.2 million views. If she'd never posted it, there would be no 1.2 million views.
We're not.
You cannot go back in time. You can only wish you went back in time, that's for sure. But you cannot. The construction workers are too busy with roadblocks. They haven't built a time travel machine. So you can't go back in time. So just put it out there. You can always delete. You can. You can get rid of it. You can delete it. But you can't go back in time and post it.
No.
So you just got to post it.
Yeah. We did a cookie decorating class, and I said, I'm going to make a reel. And I said, I'm going to put myself in front of it, wave. So I did it. People were so kind. Like, you know, when you hold your breath and you're like, people are going to call me ugly.
And even if they do, you can delete it.
I know.
That's the thing. I was testing with the whole video. I was saying, let me hide, because Facebook makes it very easy to hide and delete and ban negativity. They don't want it on their platform. It drives users off the platform. So anytime somebody posted something very rude or something condescending, I either deleted, banned, or hidden.
Everyone thinks I sound like Dory from Finding Nemo.
50% of the comments are, you sound like Ellen. You sound like Dory. And I said, just keep picking. Just keep picking. Of course, it's me replying to all these people. Poor people. But just constantly replying back to this positive comment. When you see it, you want to just delete it. Like, at the end of the day, no one cares.
No, I could care less if you were like, oh, Corey, you got a big jaw and your chin is big and you look like witch. Well, am I quite a little
Thank you for the engagement. Hopping on my broom. Run away. So, yeah, I know it's so hard. You're your own worst critic, and your worst critic is your own worst enemy. Sorry, Phoebe wants to make an exodus. Goodbye, Phoebe. Rude as well. So, really, that is the key to liking. Now, in the final thing is really bright photography, bright and fun photography. Nothing speaks to me like a Williams-Sonoma magazine.
Doesn't. But don't let it. Don't say, oh, Heather said bright photography. I have a dark kitchen. I can't do this.
Okay, well, A-Court backers would like a word.
That's true. Put it behind you.
Yeah, there's many ways to create bright photography. If anything, you can blast it in post by upping the brights. I'm sure a photographer's crying right now hearing me say that. But we want to be likable. I can guarantee you the pot or pan I buy from Williams-Sonoma will look quite different in my own kitchen.
It will.
However, I liked it. I liked it. I like the vibe. I like the thought of, if I buy this, my kitchen will look like that. Kind of being that likable person. That's who we want to be with our online brand. And it's going to take more than just a photo of your stunning cookies. But people want to like you. And while they may like your cookies, liking you will separate you. It'll be the differentiator between.
That's what I tell people. The secret ingredient to your cookies is you.
And
otherwise,
bakety bake meringue powder. 10% off now.
Use it. Go do it. Otherwise, it's the same flour, eggs, and sugar. But it's you that makes people want to buy from you.
You may say, well, no, it's the skill. That's a part of it. But there's much more. I always tell Corey, the Cookie College is awesome because all of that information is free online, 100% of it. Yeah. But what people are paying for is hearing us talk about it. That is the likable part. Well, I like what the twins stand for. I like how they apply it to bakeries. I like them. Hopefully, I don't like their faces. I saw that photo.
Listening to this, I hate them so much.
Then don't listen to the podcast.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for that download. But it's the differentiator is that you get the twins giving you this information. You get the funny posts. You get the memes, and that's something that Corey and I have developed to be different than the YouTube video where you could get a lot of this really awesome information for free.
All right. Lead us on to number 2.
No
to number 2.
That's for you to interpret.
The second one is no.
KNOW.
Know and trust you. So give us some thoughts on knowing.
So Corey and I kind of retooled this one. It's easy to think no is very similar to like. They want to know you, but we want to know how people can take your money. So we want to answer the questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. What's for sale? How do I buy it? Where are you located? How do you plan to take my money? The more people understand, again, not just the cookie pictures. They're doing a great job.
They are.
But they're not the whole
But the
package.
caption that says, happy birthday, Judy, welcome to 109.
Yeah. So what we need to do is, and that no is going to be really creative copy that gets people to read it. Here's a rule of thumb. Nobody reads anything. There you go. There. I broke the stigma that people read stuff.
I will say, a captivating first line can get them to read a few more lines after that.
And I like to compare it to taffy. As you start pulling taffy along, you got to continue to pull it along or it'll break. That's the same with the human attention span. It's specifically on platforms like social media where if I can only scroll up 2 centimeters higher, I may find a new nugget of something to draw me in.
I had to get rid of this tree. And I said, you know what? I'm going to use some awesome copy. And how many people said,
it's a Christmas tree? Leslie thinks she's out gardening.
Oh, yeah. I have a Christmas tree. I got a new Christmas tree. I need to get rid of the old one. And I said, let me use some copy here in my local Buy Nothing group.
Which I respect and love a Buy Nothing. But they are very much catacombs of non-hook copy.
Give. box.
Simmer.
So I said, let me use some great coffee. The post is one of the highest ranking posts in that group.
Someone said, this is just so funny. I don't even want the tree. I just found this wildly entertaining. And then Corey made me read it in the car this morning.
Dude, so I could giggle myself.
Yeah. So it's that copy is going to draw people into the rest of the question. So who, what, where, when, why, and how, that's a great formula if you're just like, I don't know what to write. Mm-hmm. Well, happy birthday, Judy, doesn't tell me how I can buy this myself.
No.
So you can say, Judy, oh my goodness, you can't believe what you just did. She turned 109. And you can get these cookies too. Kind of whatever that drawing in and dragging people's attention along with you.
What we don't want them to do is to have to jump through hoops to buy from you. So, okay, you say, okay, Judy, happy birthday, Judy 109, order now. Okay, you said the words order now, but now what? Where do I order?
DM for order. Ugh, now I gotta have a conversation.
So if you say, hey, Judy turned 109, if you would like to order cookies for your loved one turning 109, you can fill out this form right here. Once it's filled out, I will send you a confirmation email and we will get to bacon.
Right. This is the no category of like, no, trust, sell. The no category is really understanding your sales funnel. Mm-hmm. And like we always say, shortening it. Keep that sales funnel as short as possible so that I can read what you sell, know what you're selling, want to give you my money, and I'm able to give you my money with the least amount of friction as possible.
Yeah. The basis for like, know, and trust is very much in-person sales, but where a lot of us are doing our sales online.
Right.
So instead of doing that in person, we're going to fill out and optimize every single thing that Facebook lets you on your page. We want to have that filled out. We want to make sure that where our location is in there. You can't say it enough. I have it listed somewhere. Yeah, we need it listed in multiple places. People are not reading. Is your bio on your Instagram filled out? Do you have it filled out correctly? Do you have your contact buttons filled out there? Is your website is it easy for me to find?
What are your pin posts? Do your pin posts answer what do you sell, how to buy it, and what's coming up?
Yeah.
Because you can pin 3, and if you only have 1 pinned, well, then you got 2 places where you can optimize your sales cycle.
Yeah. So utilizing those things and those pathways to get people to know you is going to help you score some of the sales. And your personality comes out in the way you type as well. So that goes back to our someone said, I just like the way you type things. Can I order cookies from you?
From the tree post?
No. Oh. I do have 4 people wanting that tree. Now I have to choose.
Let it simmer.
I know. I didn't want to get in trouble, so it's been simmering for all evening.
It's so funny because the buy nothing, sell nothing groups, in an effort to not make it seem like a trash pile, elongate their sales funnel intentionally, meaning you can't do fast speed giving. You have to let it simmer, which means let the post sit for enough time that people can think about it, that you're not just offloading your crap
to the first person to comment.
So intentionally buy nothing, sell nothing groups to keep the value of their user base, extend that sales funnel. That's great because they don't want that quick dip. Now, as people who do, we want to quickly sell. We need to shorten that sales funnel intentionally. Just think about, like Corey said, in-person sales. What if you're like, I am going to buy a fancy new roof. So you get a guy and he comes over and he quotes everything and you're like, okay, I want to buy this $10,000, $15,000 roof. And he's like, great. I'll be back in 5 days and I'll tell you in 5 days how to give me your money, but you can't give it to me today. 5 days, you wait, bated breath. You want this roof. It's the most beautiful roof. And he walks in and he says, we don't take credit card.
Okay.
We take check. And you're like, well, I haven't seen checks in 10 years. I'll have to go to my bank and get them printed. And he says, okay. This funnel is so darn long that you probably just going to nail up your own roof at this point.
Heather knows when I want to buy something,
you got to act swiftly.
It's hell or high water. I'm going to get something, and it will be what I wanted or something very similar to it.
Here's the thing. They say, I was listening to a psychologist on purchasing. You have more dopamine released at the thought of the purchase than making the purchase.
For sure. I almost get a little sweaty when I purchase.
Yeah.
But I'm excited up until that, and then I get a little sweaty, like I am parting with like a chunk of cash.
Yeah, then you buy it, and then you go through the buyer's remorse period, which is a negative feeling. Yes. So what we're saying is when people are on that anticipatory ledge of making a purchase, you must strike while the iron is hot.
I like that word, anticipatory. Is that a real word? If I use it in public, will I be
I
scoffed
think it's
at?
so long and fancy. People wouldn't question even if it was made up.
Anticipatory. I'm going to use it at Target. I was anticipatoring you
That
getting
you'd
in
have those
front of me.
crates. And the crates aren't here, so I'm anticipatory. But back to it, a way that I stave off purchases is create a longer funnel for myself. So what I'll do is I'll find something and I'll be like, I want this. I want it. I want to have it. Then I'll put it on a list and use Notion. And then I'll forget about it and I'll never buy it. But I did get the high of the thought of buying it without buying it. I've created a longer sales funnel for myself.
And all we need to do to get her to buy is create a little FOMO. And
Absolutely.
we will get
I
her.
have a Black Friday. I even have it labeled. Do I have the coupon code ready to go? When do they launch their
I
sale?
need to know what's on this list. But take us to our final.
Trust. This is a big one.
Big one, especially when it comes to online sales.
Online sales. So when I think of trust, everyone's going to be like, here they go with their refund happy
Someone said
sales.
the twins are so quick. What did they call us? Refund twins?
Refund referees. I have no idea, but I agree with all of them. Here's the thing. If I'm going to give you my money and things go south, are you on my side or are we on the opposite sides of a boxing
fighting
ring?
you for my cash.
Right. A way that I see you can erode trust is paying with Venmo or PayPal, friends and family. Because when you pay, look what happens when you tell PayPal, I'm going to pay for a service as friends and family. PayPal does this like pop-up that says you will not be protected in the event that this goes south. No trust.
No trust.
So that means that the person has no buyer protection and they have to trust you. Now, when things inevitably,
It will.
anticipatory hit the fan, when things hit the fan, is it you against the client? Because that client, that will be the question of, can I trust you?
It is, me and Heather were talking about it. There's one thing being wrong, and there's one thing feeling like you were wronged.
Yikers.
Feeling like you were wronged it can create
A perpetual animosity. We had this client. I talked about it in podcasts years past, but we had this client, and they had a client that they felt they were in the right to wrong this client. He said, she said, they said, judge said. I don't know. Ended up going to like
it was way before our time.
Yeah.
It did go to court.
It went to court, settled. Turns out the business was right and got the final judgment. However, this client's client, felt wronged, and for 11 to 12 years would drag them through the mud. They estimate that lady's bad reviews could have cost them well into $500,000. It was high-end remodeling.
I know. I don't even know this lady, but every time I like comment a recommendation to the business, she pops up and she will say, no, I hate them. I had to physically block her. Like, ma'am, I have never met you.
And her husband does it too. And that goes to show that even though the lady was wrong in the court of law, she felt wronged in a deeper sense that has fueled animosity so much longer than that, the client business, our client, had ever assumed could have happened. And in the long run, it cost them a lot when they could have just said, I think the final judgment was over $5,000. It ended up costing them $500,000 they suspect in lost sales.
And is the customer always right? No. But is the customer ever wrong?
That was a quote you hear. The customer's never right. The customer isn't always right, but they also aren't wrong. If they go out there and plead their case, you now have created an online judge, jury, and executioner.
And what I wouldn't want for anybody is someone who's vocal about how much they don't like you, because it takes 2 seconds to write, I don't recommend blah.
Yeah. And if they do plead their long case, okay, there's this it's like a Dave and Buster's, but it's local to us.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, like the Zone or something?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I don't know. It's just it's like an adult kids arcade. You can have your kids there, and I don't know. The Dave and Buster's kind of setup.
Got a little bar area.
Little chicken fingies or whatever. So the company apparently had told this lady, yes, you can have your twins' birthday party there, and then said, oh, we actually had a bar mitzvah, rent out the whole place. We're going to null and void your contract because there's a little tiny asterisk that said if we get a bigger contract, we can cancel yours. Okay, they probably likely made more money that day.
Sure.
But that lady's review, of which I read the entire thing, really did cost that company a lot. Now, if you guys want to get legal, their contract said they could cancel her contract. Yeah. Legally, the business is right, but online, apparently very wrong.
Customer felt wronged.
Now, how could we have turned that around? How could have the Zone or the Dave Buster's turn that around is saying like, hey, we did have somebody attempting to rent during your day and we told them, no, we respect that you were there first and we've tried to accommodate them. They ended up canceling, but we were just really happy you guys showed up today. They may have lost that short term, but they would have definitely won in the long term. So you got to think about that. And I know everyone's like, no, the refund twins are here with their refunds, but consider that the trust aspect. Corey has 100% money back guarantee if anything.
I hate typing it, but I type it every single time. If you order from me and you are unhappy for whatever reason, keep the cookies, keep your money. I hate typing it. I type it every time.
Guess what? I'd wager. And I did a poll on this last year. How many refunds have you processed that weren't COVID related? Yeah. We were in the heat of COVID at the time. The average refund process in a year, 365 days, was less than half of a single order.
No, they're out to
than half. Yeah, people aren't trying to get their cookie and eat it too. Honestly, they just want their product in the event that something goes wrong or the client is unpleasable. No. Stop, full stop. Here's your money. Thank you so much. You can blacklist them after that. But if you want to put you against a client, you are eroding trust and playing a very dangerous game in the online review world.
And what you don't want is that customer, we lost them, they were nightmares, people like to say, to create a trust issue with your future clients.
Yeah, that's the risk. That's the long-term risk. So you may say, well, this client is a nightmare. And they probably likely are. But how bad are they going to ruin future clients? Because the client who's looking for trust, which this is how you do trust research. Somebody recommends somebody, you go look them up. Yep. You see their most recent post. You see their most recent reviews. You see their replies to bad reviews. You see their replies to good reviews. You check Google, you check Facebook, maybe even Yelp.
Maybe
they're on Nextdoor. Who knows? Then you make that buying decision because I need to trust you with my hard-earned cash. And if I see a bunch of contentious, he said, she said, they didn't do, they did this, they burnt that, I asked for it back, then I think I'm going to be like, yikers.
I would hate to be on the wrong side of a biker. Right.
So,
another thing is you're like, well, I got rid of this nightmare client. I didn't refund him. I never heard back from him since. We do not know what they are saying in the darkness of the night to their friends. We don't know who they know. And not everyone takes to the internet, but they can. You meet up for a mom's group and there's a lull in the conversation. You might just be the topic.
So that trusting. So again, you may have the best cookies in the world. You may be the most expert decorator in your area, but if people don't trust you, that is how your competition is going to move in front of you. And that's how they're going to be more successful. They may not be able to compete with you on talent. They shouldn't compete with you on price, but if they can build more know and more trust, they can sell more guaranteed. That's why we say never play around with profits. That's your time and money. That's what we're in this for. But you can play around with these chess pieces. And I always say, let's move every chess piece before we start questioning money, because these ones, if we sharpen up this one, if we're really likable, if we're really relatable to our audience, that means you're going to get increased engagement. I can guarantee it.
Yeah. When I'm thinking when I have a client come into my house is how can I make this process easier than the baker right across the street from me? So I send him a picture.
Baker across the street.
Sorry. It's me. I'm just kidding. What I'll do is send him a picture of the front of my townhouse. Townhouses can be overwhelming.
Love it.
I have 2 spots that are designated to me that you can park in. So I'll move my car to a visitor spot, put a little chalkboard sign that points down and it says, here for cookies.
That anxiety.
Yeah, I have it too.
I hate it. I hate trying to read street numbers. You can hardly see anyways. And I'm trying to, that fear. What if I knock on the wrong door?
And I say, I demand my cookies. And they're like, who are you? I'm calling the police.
Also, where do you get those cookies in
there?
So
I do have a little flag sign. Heather made me the cutest. And it is oddly large.
I didn't know so big. They didn't have size.
That is branded that says, what does it say?
On the front it says the cookie pickup. But when you walk in and you turn around, the back of the sign says, P.S. You have really good taste.
In cookies.
Is it too big?
It's not too big. I think you would need to see it from the road if there was a bunch of cars, I think it'd be fine.
Okay, fair enough.
Too big. I'm just kidding.
Fair enough.
I'll make a reel on it so people can see.
Then I'll be like, oh no, people are saying it's too big. You can't change the size. It can only make the text bigger.
Okay, no, I think it's great, and it's branded. If I was pulling up and I was parking and I saw that, it would make me feel relieved.
Something that Corey and I do for cookie classes is, I'll be honest, the space that we use isn't the easiest to find. So I took a screenshot of Google Maps and I drew like arrows to tell them where to go and park. And every class, without fail, someone says, I really like the parking diagram.
Yeah, they do.
And then Corey put a sign out that points towards the correct door. Because you want to relieve that anxiety. We want to be likable. We want to people know. That goes back into the know. And then they need to trust that we have 100% money back guarantee. Now, here's the thing. I don't like giving money back. So I pivot it for class to say you could definitely get a class credit. As long as if it's before the day of class, we'll give you a class credit. Because essentially Eventbrite already has their money. It just sits in this kind of coffer until one of us uses it or expires. But yeah, they know, like, if the worst case happens, I'll give you a class credit, buddy.
Yeah.
The day of, it's a little hard because you can't sell that seat, but.
So instead of like maybe going toe to toe with pricing for a new local baker that pops up and we lower our prices so people will buy from us,
the fastest race to the bottom. F1
you will be burnt out.
Races.
You both will be burnt out and crying. You can really create a relationship with your customers that make them want to buy with you, whether it be, showcasing yourself a lot, getting involved in your community, sponsoring some little ball team,
going to network events.
Little baseball team?
I guess so.
What is the little one for little kids?
Little League?
Little League team.
I don't have kids.
I don't know.
So really kind of sit down and you can create categories that fill in the like. How can I be a more likable baker? That's going to require putting your face in front of the camera. It's going to, if you can we had this one client who was very proficient in standing in front of a camera, and I had to ask her, Bobby, how are you so good?
Yeah.
And she said, honestly, I sit in front of the mirror and I talk to myself. And I said, wow, it really shows. Because most of the time I turn the camera on and it's just glaze over eyes, Krispy Kreme style. But when I turn on the camera for her, she lights up. She's engaging. She's talking to somebody on the other side of the camera. I don't know who they are, but she is directly talking to another human being. Human being.
Every reel that I do, I film it once and delete it.
There you go. Great practice.
The first one is never the best one.
It never is.
So what I do is listen back to it and I say, you know what? I could add some inflection there. I sound so monotone.
That's why you sound like Dory.
That's why I do it. The first one I sound like myself. Second one, it is me and Finding Nemo.
Dry run. Another great thing for Facebook Lives is you can go live on your own account and have it set to private. Only you can see it. But talk about a great way. I have to teach the classes for the Cookie College, and sometimes I go live. The first time I was like, oh my goodness, this is so peculiar. Nobody's here. I'm having to talk
to yourself.
Yeah, now I've done it so many times, which is just that, time in the saddle, that even when the camera dies, I can't stop not looking at it as if I'm talking to people.
Yeah, Instagram Live allows you to do a tester to yourself. You can go by yourself. You don't need someone else. You can invite someone, I think, to watch it. So I could invite Heather and be like, how bad was that? She looked terrible. But it's a way to test it. If you have that anxiety, which it's totally fine to have that anxiety, many, many people do, you can practice.
You can practice through that anxiety. Again, there's nothing that practice can't make perfect. Even though they said that practice makes
progress.
No, practice makes permanent. That's what I saw. Because if you practice the wrong thing, that was
There's
the
so many
skydiving.
Practice makes. Practice makes everything, okay?
Practice makes the world go round. But anyways, focus on like, know, trust. And then you can sell. If at any time there's a gap, if there's a break in the linkage of like, no, trust, you're going to see a dip in sales. There's nothing I can do to save you. If you're going to be a really likable person, if you're going to have a
whoa, get a little diet Coke hit right there.
Diet Coke.
Send it on back. Send her back.
If you're going to be a likable, if you're going to shorten that sales funnel, it's very easy for people to give you money. But when somebody has an issue, you leave them hanging out to dry.
Yeah.
You're going to have fewer sales.
I will say if you are very likable and then someone goes to order and you're like, oh, I'm taking a break. Oh, something came up that no one trusts. I do not trust this baker to be around for my order. So you can break off. It's not just about the sales funnel. It's not just about liking. There's a lot of likable people who are not dependable. Yes. And there's a lot of dependable people who are not likable.
Yeah, so it's really kind of brushing up on the like, no, trust. And then you can sell. And that is going to take what is one of the hardest skill sets, and it's introspective criticism of yourself.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself, but also finish a sentence. I don't want to get in front of the camera, and I'm fine with making fewer sales. That's the rest of the thing. But when you say, I don't want to get in the camera, why am I not making any sales, Sugar Cookie Marketing Group? Well, the answer is going to be, you're going to
do they like or know you, trust you?
Yeah. So once you get those three things dialed in so nicely, you're going to see people throwing your money at you, and you're going to wonder, whoa, what was I doing before? Why didn't I do this earlier?
Yeah.
And it just really helps. So when you look at the Sugar Cookie Class website, the FAQ section answers any question Corey and I have ever been asked. That builds trust.
Yeah. If you want to give us your money, I want you to trust in what you're getting. And I know a lot of times people will be like, well, I'm not really good at copy. I don't know what to say. Here, I'm going to give it to you. On your Meet the Baker post, I want you to write this. Hey, I am Corey. I am here to bake your dreams come true. Here's 5 things you didn't know about me. And number 4, you do not judge me for. Number 4 can be whatever, that you hate, Reese's peanut butter cups. Just something to get them to read.
Who doesn't like Reese's?
But it'll get them to read to number 4, because we are nosy people. And that is if you need, steal that copy. Number 1 through 5, make it easy, do a segmented, use emojis. People will read it. I promise it'll be one of your best performing posts.
Laffy Taffy, that post.
Yeah.
Make us want to read more. Corey adding that in number 4, you'll judge me for, is going to make us read 1 through 3. Might even skip directly to 4.
Just to see what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Just make sure that number 4 is not controversial. We don't want number 4 to be highly
voted for. Don't judge me, I told you.
Make it something easy to digest.
So yeah, like, no, trust, then you can sell.
Yeah.
Really work on that. The more that drives your business brain, the better results you'll have. In time, you'll eventually work so fluently with that, you won't even think about it.
Yeah. Me and Heather in our day jobs, which is marketing, we know that if we can get in front of the potential customer, if we can get them on the phone, we can get them on the Zoom, we can meet up for a lunch, that we can score that sale.
Like, no trust?
No trust. All right. What is tell us about the Cookie College.
The Cookie College, exciting. We're doing the Vendy blending. This will be the lowest price for the Cookie College forever. Technically, because we're going to raise the price of the Cookie College next year. So right now you can grandfather yourself into, I think what it'll come out to is like $52 a month with this discount. It's paid up front. It's the year in the Cookie College. So you get 12 months of a lot of content, only for the price of 9 months. We usually do it a 10-month discount, so you can get 2 months free. But for the Black Friday Vendy Blendy, we're doing 3 months free, which brings that $68 down to $52.
Yeah, but I will say also, in the new year, the first week of January, the price of the Cookie College actually goes up for the first time ever. Mm-hmm. So if you can score it for the Black Friday Vendor Blender, you are in for the lowest price that we will offer from this time onward.
What some people don't know, and I'll confess, is that the platform we use to host the Cookie College and accept payment is called Podia. Podia uses an integration with Stripe. Stripe does not allow us to raise the price on active members. That means if you lock in this discounted 3 free, that means next year you also lock it in as well. For as long as you're in, you lock in that price. It can never raise it on you.
Gosh darn it, don't tell them our secrets there,
I know, God.
Did you cover how many courses we currently have?
We have over 90 courses, from product reviews to freebie photos to a lot of business optimization.
One of people's favorite course, and I don't know if they're just pandering me, is the photography course. The photography course. That's what my body really wanted to say that, but I decided
photography.
It's a photography course, and it tells you how to stage, how to edit in Lightroom, how to edit in the free version of Lightroom. It is my baby child, because that was my course that I was in charge of. And it's one of the biggest courses there. So if you're like, I'm just really struggling with lighting or backdrops or props or anything like that, that is the course for you, my friend.
Our most recent course is begged for by the Cookie College kids. We didn't actually supposed to post it, but it was our Christmas cookie class. We've taught it for 3 years.
I hate that class. I really do.
We'll be teaching it 2 more times this year. But yeah, that one's in there from the event copy that I use, that hook, that FAQ, that like no trust.
Photography. If you need the promo pictures, you don't have to go make the cookies. We've already done it.
The biggest thing is probably the step-by-step PowerPoint instructions you can use to teach the class.
Yeah, and what I love to see is that the Cookie College people are making it their own. So I've seen some people use like 3 of our designs and maybe 2 of their own.
Do you see how cute some of their Christmas trees are?
I hate it.
Darn it.
Hate it.
Darn it.
Hate them.
And they bumped out with some of our ugly cookies.
I wish I could do that too.
However, if you were like, well, I'd like to teach a class, I don't know all that's involved in it, we cover that. You can get absolutely everything. We actually recorded one of our cookie classes. We give you the script that we use.
How cringy we look.
Well, we did it, man. Got my face in front of that camera. Corey and I have sold out of cookie classes. I think most of this year we were sold out.
Now we don't even really market them.
It's because really, honestly, SEO is kind of doing a lot of the
so
heavy
it's
lifting.
just set it and forget it at this point for us. They are selling out. We don't have to spend money on Facebook ads or post in local groups. I will, though, to get a wait list, to get it on people's minds for next year.
But we got an exciting, a lady called us from Senior Citizen Home up here in the area, and we are going to do Sugar Seniors if we can all agree on a price and class length.
I know. What if we just did Sugar Seniors all next
year?
It'd
be so fun.
I think
she seemed really open to it, but they have a lot of senior homes here.
We could move do January in one place.
She
February
was
in
open
one
to
place.
that. Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to do all new cookie classes next year.
So. Yeah, so that would be interesting. We're going to test it on the seniors?
Yeah. I would like to test it on
Sugar Seniors.
I feel like they'll tell me what they think.
So yeah, if you want to check out the Cookie College, you can learn more about it at thecookiecollege.com. However, don't pay me your money yet. I'd say lock in that year price. However, we do have monthly pricing. If a year is a little too much to bite off right now, you can get that monthly pricing anytime. It's $68 from now until the end of the year. And again, even after it raises after the first, can't raise it on you.
Our goal is to make you want to be back in the Cookie College. I want you to buy that month, and I want to be like, I can't not.
Cookie College costs $68. We need to earn them $69. We need to be the last thing that costs them money. So our job in the Cookie College is to make our cost to you back and then some. Then you'll stick around, and that is our value proposition.
Yeah, so we've been able to be pretty successful with that mindset. To really make others successful.
Trust. So a lady had messaged me and she said, hey, I'd really like to join the college. However, I've spent lots of money on classes and courses and I just don't feel like I got it back. And I said, listen, join. If at any time during your 30 days you don't like it, I'll give you all your money back. And she said, I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah. So she's been a member and that worked out really well. But again, building in that, taking it back to the marketing nugget, building in that trust factor really allows people to feel comfortable giving you what they've worked so hard for, their money. Yeah. So let's move on to texts.
We got a text.
Yeah, but it wasn't about what they wanted to buy like I wanted to. Hold on. Okay. Heather and Corey, quick question about social media during the holiday season. I remember something mentioned last year around this time, either in the podcast or the group, about how hard it is to compete with all the advertising that bigger corporations are all doing right now. I've noticed a distinct downturn in my social media engagement in the last week or so, and it makes me wonder if I'm already starting to be drowned out. Do I need to be running paid ads or doing something else to have the best chance of having my posts seen right now? What do you suggest? Thanks in advance for any way you can provide help, and a big thank you for the many ways that you two have helped me grow my business over the last year, especially Heart from the 269.
269, I appreciate you and thank you for finally texting in. We were running low.
I'm going to say heart emoji, she. Although, Skyring might throw in a heart emoji. Richard loves us.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I'm going to say is this is an excellent question. I've been following economics in this weird post-COVID pandemic kind of bubble
weirdness. Yes.
Yeah. So what has happened is Walmart and Target, in an effort to get people to spend more, have put out their Christmas displays early.
Already. You can go get your Black Friday sales from Walmart right now.
It is intentional. And the reason why is because they have overstocked themselves from the pandemic. I want to make my house pretty rush. And now they have too much product. So to get you to buy more, over a longer period of time, they've increased their Black Friday marketing to start at the beginning of November. Typically, you see that at the end of November. Yeah. Now, what happens is this. We are always fighting for space in the news feed. Remember, the news feed is as wide as your phone is. And it's really the length of your phone, too.
Oh, I got the biggest screen, thank goodness.
Yeah, a little iPhone.
Yeah, I know.
So now think of the ad auction network. The way that advertisements work on Facebook and Google and all these other sites is that we all pay. I say, okay, I'm willing to pay $5. That's my entire budget. Let's say Corey comes in and says, I'm willing to pay $6. Facebook says, well, I'd much rather have $6 than $5. I'll take Corey's, and sold. Corey, here's your ad. I'm going to serve it to this people that I think will buy from you. Guess what Heather's ad does? Yeah. Takes a back seat until I go up against somebody who's only willing to spend $4.
I will say that is what Google is, but Facebook is not just based on that alone.
Don't try to make it complicated.
Okay, I know. Maybe we'll do a podcast on what the ad auction looks like.
Snooze fest, guys. Brace yourself.
For sure.
So around Q4, where is the biggest online shopping event of the year, you're competing with a lot of, somebody said yesterday, I have deep pockets too. There's just nothing in them. You're competing with deep pockets with something in them. And you are going to start falling out of the algorithm, especially when you're not running paid ads, because you're not producing money for these platforms who can turn around and sell these ads to a gamut of Coca-Colas and Googles and Facebooks and any store, Nordstrom, any store that you shop in. So you got to consider that. Now, how to counter that? Do we recommend spending money?
I don't know. I almost think a good content strategy can help you save money and
diversify content.
Absolutely. So if is your town putting up a local Christmas tree like we have, what is that one called in DC?
The national tree?
The national tree?
Oh, that doesn't sound right.
Well, we got a giant tree in DC. If I went to and highlighted it, so, hey, this is what you can expect. Parking was a little harder to find. That content is resourceful. Is it about
something
baking?
I can compete with that Google can't provide that hyper-local content, even with the deep pocket.
It's not about baking, but it deals with my target audience. They're right here in the DC area. They want to go see whatever that tree is called in DC.
Let's see Facebook and Instagram stories. Now we're superseding the feed and going above it in chronological, right? Because that's still posted chronologically.
Yeah, it is. It's the ones that you do like that
ones
you tend to go look
with.
Yeah.
So anyways, you can beat out Google by just cutting them out completely. I'm using Google as an example as a advertiser, but anybody, Walmart, by posting to your stories. Now, you know what? We can also compete with Walmart in inboxes, and that's consistent quality email marketing that provides values and connects with your audience again in a way that Walmart saying you forgot this in your cart can't.
On your Google My Business, but it's called My
Google Business Profile.
Google Business Profile. A lot of people set it and forget it. That's not what they don't want you to set it and forget it.
They want it to be a social network.
You need to add photos. You can add updates. Your updates appear on your profile. Like this person's updated. So you add something new to your menu, your advent
People
calendar.
can follow your account, and then you can cut through the
paid portion.
Right. There's just many ways to work around that. Affiliating with somebody who's maybe running ads is another great way. Getting involved. You got to think of like showing up for a vendor event, like a farmer's market. You're getting more out of that than just the booth. You're getting their reach to their audience who they've probably really curated of people who like farmers markets.
Yeah.
There are ways to get seen without having to spend money. I always like to say, let's spend money as a last resort because that's taking it out of our pocket. Yeah. However, if you do want to spend money, we do talk about in the Cookie College boosted posts versus targeted ads. There's a talent to it for sure.
But there's a room for both, I do believe.
But consider that any ad that you place right now will go less far because you'll have to spend more to reach the same audience.
You guys come Q1. A lot of people got their Q4 budgets to spend before quarter one comes.
And come Q1, you're going to see that your reach will be higher, your ads cost will be lower, and that's because it's harder to get people to spend. Now they're in the whole New Year's resolution. I shouldn't have bought that.
Yeah. So lock in a good content strategy before you decide to spend, but it's not a bad idea to spend money on ads, especially if you know your target audience.
But set a budget and then weigh the ROI.
Look at the data. Don't just send the money away.
Right. We don't want to say, well, here's $60. That's the whole cost of a custom order. Did it produce 2 custom orders? Because that's a great ROI. In a way,
it is. But if you're like, I spent it, I don't know what happened. There is insights that come with the ads that you do. So you have to look at them.
You gotta we don't want to just throw money down the toilet. We need to really be conscious of it. And I would say start with that content strategy Corey mentioned. Make it involve stories, lives, groups, community, value added emails. and things like that.
Every once in a while.
Hey, whenever you need a little quick hit in the algo, just drop a meme, man. Corey and I have been posting memes like it's a meme page. So
You've been just memeing it up. I've appreciated all of them.
They're kind of funny.
They're hilarious.
They're
so funny.
I have a couple more.
Okay,
I sent you that one. That'd be a solid one to post.
Which one?
Holiday spirit.
For the SEM? Oh, yeah. I thought you were saving that for yourself. I thought you wanted me to laugh about it.
No, okay. I said, I'm giving you this gift of a solid meme.
I'm posting this today. What is today? Today is November the 15th. Go to the group. I'll post it tonight.
That'll be a solid one.
All right.
It'll be a solid bet. So that is actually the only text that we have. Thank you so much, Heart 269. Because otherwise,
it's a great question, though.
Great question.
That was a good one. Perfect timing.
So yeah, pay attention. I love to see the reach of the sugar cookie marketing post. So when I go to Business Suite, if you have your Instagram correctly connected to your Facebook page, you can see the reach. Always cross post, right? I post them in both places. Yeah. It's hilarious to me to see what works on Facebook and what works on Instagram and how some of them don't work on the other platform. But our reach is around 1,000 people per post.
It is.
We have 26,000 page likes.
But then we have my one reel that's holding it up for 1.3 million.
Yeah. So it is that diversified content strategy consistently over a long period of time. I hate to say there's no magic bullet for marketing. It is consistency over time with relatable content to a targeted audience. That will float ya.
It will float ya. And I will say, does divisive content make reach? It does, but for the wrong reasons. So even though
controversial content,
I know. So even though you might make content, it's not doing as well as the person who's arguing against, Also,
you were competing with politics this last week as well. We had a twofer.
They almost wanted a little bit of a break. Did you say break?
Break. So we had politics in the last week, and this week we have early Black Friday. Yeah, it is a rough one.
I'm kicking and screaming.
Let my post sneeze. So yeah, that is a rough one. But yes, if 269, you notice that, congratulations. You have a marketing mindset. You are paying attention to your metrics, and you are correct. This is a harder season to market. It counterbalances itself with a lot of people willing to depart from their money. It's just you reaching them to let them know that you're willing to take it.
Post often and post
valuable, non-controversial, targeted content. Good luck. So moving on here, we have a Facebook Live today.
Nice. I think we started.
Email deliverability.
Yes. Explain what that is.
If I send an email, and I always see, why am I ending up in the spam box? You have poor email deliverability, and it is caused by a number of factors. And today, ConvertKit's Melissa and Alyssa are going to tell us how to combat email deliverability no-nos.
What is ConvertKit?
ConvertKit is a pretty cool app for marketing and sales. We should look into it ourselves.
I should.
Yeah, because SendGrid ain't cutting it.
Get on that, okay?
Thank you. I'll add it to my never-ending list. Also want to hit on the vendability, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind at all.
So let us go. No, we'll go to Olive Garden later.
We are. I am ready and raring.
I needed to get... Okay, I decided to play YouTube Auto Mechanic. And
yeah, she did. Heather said, I want to do it. She used to call my husband for help. Not this time. She called me to hold the light.
Grumbled and mumbled.
He did.
So I said, let me take on oil changes. It was great. Yes. Success. The oil was changed.
Then I said to get crazy.
Auto electrician. Let's do it. Anyways, took my little YouTube video into the car, blew a fuse, and not introduced what they call a bad ground into the dash, which is so funny.
Like, okay, my little lights are not glowing up. And I said, oh, that's so interesting.
Okay, bless Heather Brookshire and her husband. Okay, they came into town on Monday, and then they said, hey, we're just actually staying up the street. Would you mind dropping me off? I said, get in my little steed. I'd be happy to. And Corey pulls up to me at the light and says, are your headlights on? I said, you idiot. It's the middle of the night. Of course they are. And she's like, okay, but I could see it.
And I was still confusion. I was like, the lights are on in the front. There, a light on in the back.
Yeah, so I drop off poor Heather and her husband across the street. It was like 2 lights, not mine, away. And then Corey calls and she's like, I think the entire backside of your car is not lit up.
I said, you are riding dark and dirty.
I have been riding dark and dirty for 4 months.
Yeah, but
here's the thing, time change.
Though?
I haven't left the house after hours.
Yes. Now it goes dark at 4.
Right. So I have been, and Virginia is very aggressive driver.
Stealthing right now.
No wonder I have been pulled over. They haven't seen me.
They can't.
So I just dropped the car off this morning, and I said, Corey, let's drop the car off. The guy looks at me, and he's like, Heather. And I said, I don't want to talk about it. I just want you to fix it. And he said, I'm not sure how long that will take or how much it will cost.
I know. So
I cried.
do not dive into your fuse box, my folks. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do not
Don't
do it.
The hourly rate of which I'm now owing money on.
True.
I shouldn't
This
have
will
done it.
be quite the lesson we learned.
Of course, I walk into this mechanic shop that I've been going to for years, but they've hired a bunch of boys that are younger than me. They're all standing
front
there.
desk lady.
She wasn't there.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, I don't know. But it was John, the new front desk guy. And then these 3 boys are all looking at me. And I'm like, and John's like, my dad's age. He's like, I got your email. I said, my confessional. And then y'all start giggling. Like, you read it to the T?
Of course he did. It probably made the money morning meeting.
Probably like, we're going to make our rent
Can't wait
payment.
to see what this gal did.
Yeah, we're going to. So I think they'll actually have to take the console out, center console to find it.
Can't.
That's what YouTube told me at least.
We have our bets in for how much this could cost.
But the lesson has been learned, and that's the important part.
Yes.
Not
looking
to
at
judge.
the data, the dark data.
So Heather and her husband, sorry about that. Lessons have been learned. Anyways, back to the Vendy Blendy. Fortunately, there's money we can save here since apparently I'm spending all
you'll need every cent you got.
We have AE Core backers at 30% off, Minted Prints at 20%, Sugar Dash Co. at 25%, Bees Baked Art Supplies at 20%, Sam's Cookie Company membership at 20%, Sugar.Cookies at 25%, transfers, Busy Bakers at 20%. You'll have those roll powders that Corey talked about. The Cookie Box Club for 20%. Sweet Pink Olive has a great airbrush at 30% off, including her cutters and STLs. Sweet Details GR will be a logo branding package at 20% off. More Decor will be stencils and supplies for 20% off. Cutterly, an organizational app for your cookie cutters at 20% off. Home Sweet Bakery by Soul will have dollar recipes that will actually translate to 80% off. Bakery Tico with her hilarious t-shirts at 20% off. I love a Bakery Tico shirt. I have 3 upstairs. Molly Ray's at 22% off for the Vendy Blendy 22.
Yeah.
Cookie Artist Directory. Janet introducing this new directory. She changed her percentage off to 50%. She said she wanted to be a wild child. Brighton Cutters at 30% off. Mulberry Treats, which is great for gifts for your baker friends, at 20% off. The Sugar Pod by Dallas. If you want vanilla, 20% off. Vanilla is even better.
Yeah.
Vanilla and Confetti with Emily. That is supplies and stuff at 20% off. Sweet Cutter Co. at 20% off. Cheerful Cutters at 20% off. Sweet Frosted by KC at 25% off. Tasty Tin is by Tembi. It will be seasoning spices, which go great on popcorn.
Garlic.
20% off. Equinox Pastry Supply. I had to look her up yesterday. It is the cutest scribes I've ever seen.
Oh, 20%
off. Cookie Cutters Anonymous, 20% off. Wonderland Cutters, 20% off. The Cookie College will be 25% off with that 3 free. Bobby's Cutters at 20% off. And Darcy Heater Designs at 30% off. That's 31. Vendy Blendies all paying into, and I did the math yesterday, $2,000 worth of door prizes, and we'll all pitch in to give away a $3,000 Eddie edible printer, which will be, if you're into gambling, the most likely chance that you'll ever win an Eddie probably in the history of a long time.
Because it will be somebody who is in that Vendy Blendy group.
It will be a comment section on a post.
37,000 people. Right now, this has 3,200 people.
3,400.
Okay, but people can pend all the way up to then.
So if we do the math, which I have to do it in Excel because I can't do ratios in my head, we have 37,000 people in the group, and we had a comment section open for an hour to win the Eddie for the birthday bash. Yes. So out of 37,000 people, we had 1,200 comments. Now, out of 3,000 people, how many fewer comments will have? Average probably 500.
Yeah,
you have a 1 in 500th chance to win a $3,000 edible printer.
So you can pen for the Vendy Blendy all the way up till you can join that day. If you want to be a vendor, we can still accept you as a vendor all the way up till the 24th of November.
You just made that up because it definitely says the 14th.
Oh, 14th? Yeah, my bad.
You passed it. But I feel like if you guys really want to squeeze it in, why not? Why not? Who needs to sleep? Heather doesn't.
And
it's just
she
so
was doing
fun.
Work.
Even though, like, Well, clearly, yeah. I mean, this is just a fun little event.
A ton of people commented on my reel using the Sweetest Tears stencil holder. The Sweetest Tears is not a part of Vendor Blender, but someone who actually resells that stencil holder is. And she said, she commented yesterday, it'll be there. It'll be on discount, but she has limited supply.
Do you know who it is?
Is Busy Bee.
Busy Bee. Okay, great. Busy Bakers?
The BB. It's a pink logo.
There's Bees Baked Art Supplies and Busy Bakers.
Not sure now that you said that, but they are in there somewhere.
Okay, well, both of those are running 20% off. So you're good. And I'll have on the Vendy Blendy Day, you will be pending until November 25th at 12 a.m. 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. When you join the group, I'll have a pinned Facebook video that'll walk you through everything you need to know, along with a link to every discount code you'll need and the shop's bestsellers and everything like that. But stay tuned throughout the day because you're going to want to find that Eddie post.
And you're going to want to find the door prize posts.
I was thinking this last night as my head hitteth the pillow. Okay. Let's do 3 Eddie comment posts, and we'll do that way. If somebody can comment 3 times, they have 3 entries, but we'll keep people in until the end of the day. So that you can post on the first one in the morning. You can catch the middle guy if you want, and then stay tuned because you'll get an extra entry.
Remember how you made me read through the 1,200 comments for the last one? This will be now your baby child. Of it.
I was going to have Gams.
We will discuss at the OG.
Okay.
Let us. All right. Can we go to Twinters? We got one.
Should we do sponsies?
Oh, do sponsors first, man.
Okay. AE Core backers, a sponsor, and a Vendy Blendy. Now, I will say we're so close to Black Friday.
So close.
Hold your pennies. She will sell out.
She will. She will sell out of the best ones.
Ashley, did you know she ordered apricot?
She did. She tested my apricot.
And she used our discount code. So use sugar cookie,
not plural, at
checkout for 20% off. However, if you do wait until Black Friday and you want to risk it for the biscuit, you can get 30% off of AE Core. Now, they are such a fun company. It's all backdrops. It's going to rain for the rest of the day.
I know. Is it a little thunder right there?
I thought so. That was kind of weird.
Yeah. It seems weird for a November rain with thunder.
It's either government aircraft
or someone's pulling their trash can in.
Oh, it could be that. Or Fendi. Yeah. So anyways, AE Core backers really like them. If you want to build that roadblock of I don't have a nice kitchen, check out. She's going to remove that roadblock. They have so many backdrops for great flat lay photography. And in the Cookie College course Corey talked about, she uses AE Core backers.
Yeah. It is food safe, wipe down, waterproof, matte, scratch resistant.
Chocolate.
I put chocolate syrup on it and then took it outside and hosed it down. I still use that's one. It's Polar White, man.
You risked a Polar White?
I did. And I said, ma'am, AE Core, if I ruin this, she's like, we will send you a new one. And she's like, but you won't.
And Polar White's what she's going to sell out of. So if you want to definitely guarantee the 20% off, use code Sugar Cookie.
She has been stocking up this summer because we blew her up last year.
I hope. She was the one who was like, is there a vendor blender this year?
If it wasn't for her, honestly, I don't know if we would put it on.
I know. So take us to
the next one, which is Royal Batch. Royal Batch is a meringue powder made by a company called Bakety Bake. She has become in demand because we all love that meringue powder. The meringue powder comes with 3 ingredients already, which is white food coloring, so you save on that, corn syrup, which gives a soft bite if you are new to royal icing, makes it delicious to eat. It's not going to break your teeth. And then also it comes with vanilla extract. So you already have those 3 things in there, which is amazing. She has 1-pound bags and 5-pound bags. And now she can ship to Canada, which is fantastic for our Canadian friends up there because we absolutely love them. You can use the code TWINS, TWINS at checkout, saves you 10%. But now is the time to stock up. You do not want to be mid-Christmas orders and being like, where is my Royal Batch? It's taking about 10 days right now is the turnaround time. I just ordered my 5-pound batch. Beat me to it, kids. That's all I can say. If I run out, I will be ordering.
You're going to be a batch about it?
I'll be a total batch about it.
And then last up is, again, Eddie. Eddie is awesome. I want to give credit to the vendor blenders. They all paid into this Eddie. The Eddie for the birthday was donated by Premier, which is a fantastic company. But the Vendy Blendies paid into giving away this Eddie. Now, if you haven't heard of Eddie, you're missing out of the man that everybody wants, the man of the hour. Eddie, the edible food printer. That means he prints directly on
I
sugar
saw
cookies.
a TikTok, Karen's Cookies on TikTok, and she was printing on marshmallows for her marshmallow.
Cute.
It was a s'more pack she was doing.
People be doing the Oreos dipped in chocolate printed
I saw
on.
that. How genius, because you don't even have to do the wafer paper anymore.
It's so many creative ways. Now, don't take our word for it. You can join their Facebook group without owning it, Eddie, to kind of scout out what you want, what questions people have, kind of the creative, really creative. People be printing that face of the elf onto the cookies.
Imagine not having to make those 3 colors. That'd be great.
Imagine. And then you can print that off in seconds, whereas it would take you maybe hours or...
I will say, if you were thinking about Eddie and you're like, I'm on the fence, corporate orders during Christmas is where Eddie shines.
He really does. Rochelle and her husband, Andy Wildly, they love to say that Eddie paid for himself in 3 months.
Yeah.
And they're also just a huge proponent of Eddie. If you have any questions, they even taught a Facebook Live in the group on him.
Yeah, they did.
Really fantastic use. Now, again, those two are hitting the pavement, and Eddie doesn't sell himself. He'll sell himself to you, that's for sure. But he doesn't sell himself. You'll need to be likable, knowable, and trustable, and then edible.
Maybe on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So Eddie is really cool. You can check them out at Eddie Printer Users Group. That's a Facebook group, or you can just order one. You could possibly win one.
Heather has a whole course about the Eddie in the Cookie College, but there's also a free.
Would you know? I actually uploaded that course to YouTube for free.
Oh yeah, YouTube.
So you can go watch it there as well.
You can watch it, and I always see people come from that video into the sugar cookie marketing.
Oh
group.
really?
Yeah.
I try to reply to comments. And stuff.
Yeah.
I think Eddie is running an ad on it.
Eddie is posting, like, got the Santa hat on that dude. And he is.
So anyways, we're giving away an Eddie on next Friday. I can't believe it's already.
Yeah. And what's great is Eddie ships anywhere. So even if some of the vendors aren't shipping to you.
I will have a list, and I have to collect that information.
Okay, good. Because I know some people were wondering about that. So it would be nice.
The Aussies are curious. But however, I'll say anybody can win an Eddie.
Anyone. Yeah. You don't have to no purchase necessary.
Right. I know.
What?
I told Advanced Auto Tech, call me if it's important, or just don't call me if it's not. And they called.
Oh no.
Darn it.
Gosh darn. Well, let's finish with the twin twist and we'll head out. I used the color solution this week, and that is from The Sugar Art. The color solution, if you are unfamiliar, and this is not a paid ad, bought it myself, is something that can replace using vodka or extracts when you're painting. So if you're painting on metallics, if you're doing watercolor, this color solution, which I looked up, is made of like water and like it's gluten-free, lint-free, ex-husband-free. I don't know. It sounded amazing on the ingredients list, but it actually worked very nice. So I'm going to post a reel about that soon, so you can see what it looks like. And I honestly think vodka is what I usually use, and it does evaporate.
To get through those bad clients?
Absolutely, to get through you. It does evaporate kind of fast. This color solution was actually let me work at my little slow pace, and I didn't feel so rushed.
Nice. I have 2. I found this guy on YouTube, Caleb Hammer, and he does these financial audits of people in their 20s and 30s. I found it very entertaining. It gives people a Hammer financial score. Anyways, if you just like to, we never get a look at people's finances, right? It's such a private thing.
It is, and you don't want to ask, and no one wants to tell.
But this dude tears people up. And even I was thinking, while I'm watching him go through this, guys, he's like, you're eating all your food. So I'm like, oh, could I not go out to eat?
No, I can't. That's the only thing I'm living for.
You can't do the Hammer financial score. And then, really cool, we were actually featured on the Forager podcast. It's a 2-part podcast, and the first part comes out today.
Nice. And okay. The man asked some personal questions.
The man was a heavy hitter.
He had this list, and he said, I can either do what you want or I can do what I got. And we were like, yeah, do what you got. And he said, I am not leaving anything off the table.
I am not holding back. So he asked, he went back to when we were small, we children.
Yeah, we children.
Were you creative? No, we were not. Thank you for bringing that memory up. So I think that wraps us up for today. I got to go face the music with Advanced Auto Tech, who now just sent a text saying, please call.
Okay. I'm curious.
Your car has blown up, and we are thankful.
Maybe you get a new car out of it.
You're right.
Hey.
Yeah, I can tinker with it.
There you go.
So, guys, remember, we'll be back for the podcast before the vendor blender. That'll be on Tuesday. Then we have Thanksgiving on Thursday. And before you fall asleep, we'll have the vendor blender on Friday.
Friday.
Yes, and next Tuesday is our birthday. If you do not blow up that text message call thing, 571-556-5644. You can wish us happy birthday. That's
You
it.
can wish me a happy birthday.
Also, I was
Christopher.
thinking, if you've listened this far, you must be truly desperate for entertainment. If you're sending out Christmas cards this year with just like the pick of the fam, we would love
We would
to
love a
get
pick of
one.
the fam.
15,000 Potomac Town Place, Suite 245, Woodbridge, Virginia 22191. Now, if you were grabbing a pen while I was talking, one more time.
Say it slow.
15,000 15000 Potomac
Potomac spelled weird. Potomac.
Town
Town.
Place,
Plac.
Suite
Suite.
245,
245.
Woodbridge,
WOODBRIDDE. One word.
VA. Got that one for you. 22191. I would love to see a pic of the fam. Just definitely write your name on Facebook so I can pair you up.
Yeah.
And
yeah, let
we
us
would
know if you
love
have like a weird
that.
name, like it's Corey Mira and your name is Miracle.
Let us
Put that on
know.
there.
So anyways, guys, we will see you on Go Face the Music with Advance, my new besties, and then we'll see you guys next Tuesday. I said the bad thing.
What?
I'll tell you after.